It's funny because it's been 5 years now since the book came out, so I've gotten to see a lot in the intervening time. And what is the essence? I think fundamentally a startup is an experiment. I've been saying that over and over again for a long time. And people feel like now that's kind of like obvious or like kind of a flip comment. But like if you take that seriously, like first of all, experiment has a very formal definition. Like it's part of the scientific method. It's not just like, oh, I walked out of my house to like see if I like stumbled across like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That was an experiment. It's like, no, that doesn't count, right?
Right.
It's a structured way of thinking. It's a way to find out if something's right. And I've gotten to work with so many incredible entrepreneurs. And as an entrepreneur myself, what I've realized is like, it's a gift to be able to see something as an experiment. You basically say, look, I think this is going to work. I have a vision for something that is amazing. And I feel like so much of the conversation in the startup like press and just, even in the ecosystem ourselves, we're always like, how do I know this is going to work? Or like, what's the proof and you're like, you know what? I don't know that this is going to work. What I'm asking you to bet on is not that it's definitely going to work, but that it's worth running the experiment. So it's a worthwhile experiment. If I'm like, I want to build the Large Hadron Collider, like I can't tell you exactly what we're going to find when we turn that thing on, because if I could, it wouldn't need it. We'd already know the answer. The point is like I have a very good hypothesis worth spending hundreds of millions of dollars on this, but
we have Thor's hammer.
Yeah, exactly. And like probably we won't start a black hole and destroy the whole planet, so it's probably going to be fine. Probably.
Which would be a great explanation.
What a great metaphor, yeah.
But it's like, we would have found out why there's no intelligent life in the universe.
Right, yeah, eventually.
Intelligent life eventually builds one of these colliders, and it eventually destroys the planet.
On the list of solutions to Fermi's paradox, that is one of the ones that is on the list. Yeah, exactly. So, but I think that's kind of, it can be a flip answer, but I think it's actually, there's a lot of wisdom in it, and we could all afford to be a little bit more scientific in our approach.
What I love about this approach, the experimental approach, is it takes away a lot of emotion and bad feelings at a startup, and it gets people, I don't know if humble is the right word, but focused on what matters.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Very much so. I mean, people always ask me, about the like decision to pivot, and they're like, like that's usually where this comes up, right? So a pivot situation, first of all, for people who are not up on Lean Startup, like super theory, okay, pivot is a change in strategy without a change in vision. That's it. So the first most important thing is not like, people are just like, oh, I launched a new feature today, so it's a pivot. It's like, no, that doesn't count. You just have to change. You made a change. Congratulations. Like I changed my homepage to be red. It's like, that's not a pivot. Doesn't count. And then there's some people who pivot every day, and they're like, I got a new vision today, and I got to know, yesterday I was making, salad dressing, and today I'm making a floor wax and whatever, that old joke. So that is not a pivot either. That's just like, you have no idea what you're doing, and you have no conviction about anything. That doesn't count. So like, pivot is like kind of a magical thing. So people are like, oh, one way of interpreting all this science and everything is, we'll make doing a pivot make it easy. It's like, no. It is never easy. You guys have been through this, right? I mean, it is incredibly gut-wrenchingly hard. It's like always going to be super emotional because you've invested your life and your energy into this thing, and you're like, just kidding. Just like yesterday, I was saying selling to everyone I know that I'm right, and now it's like, well, turns out I was wrong. But okay, that said, having the scientific, more dispassionate framework, what it can do, the reason it makes it less emotional, less difficult is it just gets everybody on the same page about what's actually happening. Most startups I meet with, the reason they can't pivot is not because they can't come up with a new idea. It's because they can't even agree amongst themselves whether the current idea is working.
Hey, everybody, let me tell you about one of my favorite services in the world. It's called Audible.com, and you know it. It is awesome because I like to get smart. If you find somebody who is smart in the world and successful, and you ask them, what books have you read recently? They're going to tell you. And I can tell you 100% of the time that I've met smart people in my life, successful people, they read books. Why? Because books are just this great repository of knowledge. And, there's so many books published right now. But I have little secrets to find the best books. And one of them is Audible, because the reviews on Audible, I have to tell you, I go to the Audible website, I look at the reviews, I look at the number of stars. It is scary how accurate it is. I told you about some of the other books I'm listening to, like Building Great Sentences, The Hobbit, and The Man Who Knew Infinity. Really great books. But today I want to tell you about Smarter, Faster, and Better, which is by Charles Duhigg. You may remember him because he did that book, The Power of Habit. He built off that success, and now he's doing a book called Smarter, Faster, Better, which I'm halfway through, and it is amazing. It is really about being productive. And he talks to CEOs and generals and FBI agents and pilots and Broadway songwriters. He really just gets into detail about how to be productive in your life. The book, so far, I'm halfway through it, so I'm not going to give any spoilers. It is just fantastic, and I'm like, literally, they have a great feature inside of Audible, which is you can do a bookmark. You can literally say, I want to bookmark this place. And then what I do is when I get back to my desk, I take out my phone and I look at my bookmarks and I think about it. And sometimes I write blog posts based on that. Sometimes I talk to my team. Sometimes I'll talk to a startup about it. I just find all this great stuff. The other thing I've been listening to is Neil Postman's Amusing Ourselves to Death, which is absolutely fantastic. That's another great read. And it's a quick one, too. I have the Platinum account on Audible, but you can go to audible.com/twist, audible.com/twist, and get a 30-day trial membership. And you will get my book of the week for free, which is, of course, Smarter, Faster, and Better: The Secrets of Being Productive in Life and Business. And we all want to be more productive. And I tell you what, I'm always going on my hikes now. You see me on my Instagram, my Facebook. I'm going out hiking. I go out hiking with my daughter. And I just go for a nice long hike, do it for about 2 hours. I listen to 2 hours of an audiobook. I'm driving back and forth in the valley. Instead of wasting that time listening to music, I am digging down and doubling down on audiobooks. I just love Audible. And they've been a great partner of ours. So audible.com/twist, audible.com/twist. Get your 30-day free trial membership and do what I do, which is go to the top of the rankings, look at all the nonfiction books, look at the fiction books, and just don't even think about it. Just order 10 books at a time. That's what I do. I literally will just pick 3, 4, 5, 10 books, fill up my library, and then it's synced on my iPad, synced on my phone. I just love it. Audible is everywhere. You can listen to it in the car, on your phone, iPad, etc. You know the deal. And go ahead and check out my pick of the week, The Power of Habit. Yes, from the author of Power of Habit, Smarter, Faster, Better, Charles Duhigg. And The Power of Habit is also very good too. But I think Charles Duhigg is getting better. And Emmy Award-winning producer Jackie, let's get Charles Duhigg on the program. Okay, let's get back to this amazing episode.